Hey, history buffs, fellow students, and anyone who thinks they know World War II. Today, I'm diving into the book that didn't just challenge my understanding of World War II. It took my history textbook, threw it out the window, and then set it on fire. This is Lee Trimble and Jeremy Dronfield's Beyond the Call, a true the true story of one World War II pilot's covert mission to rescue POWs on the Eastern Front. Seriously, I thought I was signing up for the classic war hero tale. Boy, I was wrong. This book is a masterclass in historical scholarship, but it also gave me an existential crisis about everything I thought I knew. Today, we're going to break down how these authors connect, organize, and defend their arguments, and then I'll give you my critical evaluation of their context, evidence, and explanations. But first, let's get everyone on the same page with a quick summary. Okay, so here's the lowdown. The book is set in the chaotic final years of World War II, which is between 1944 to 1945, mostly on the Eastern Front. And our main character is Captain Robert Trimble, a real-life American B-17 bomber pilot. And he has just survived his 30th mission and is ready to go home for his wife and children. But what twist? His superior offered him a safer job to ferry salvage bombers from a base in Soviet-controlled Ukraine. It sounds like a sweet deal because he can avoid more combat from the battlefield, so he takes it. But what is his real job? To go behind the enemy lines in Soviet-liberated Poland to rescue thousands and thousands of abandoned Allied POWs. But the problem is, their supposed allies, the Soviets, are treating these ex-POWs as traitors, leaving them to starve or freeze to death. So Trimble operates in secret, navigating suspicion, betrayal, and political backstabbing. It's a spy thriller, humanitarian drama, and historical expose, all rolled into this novel. Alright, now, before we dive deeper, a crucial question for any history books. Is this story accurate? And what about the author's credibility? Now, good news, every history detectives. This story is absolutely non-fiction, and the authors, Lee Trimble and Jeremy Dronfield, bring a powerful combination, because Lee Trimble is Robert Trimble's son, which is the main character in our story, which gave him access to his father's personal accounts, journals, and letters. What a historical gold! And then we have Jeremy Dronfield, a professional historian who brings the academic rigor, cross-referencing those personal accounts with official records. So this collaboration ensures it's not just a family legend, but a meticulously researched historical narrative. Now, speaking of credibility, let's talk about the backbone of any good historical argument, the evidence. The author relied heavily on Robert Trimble's personal journals, classified OSS documents, and testimonies from other Allied POWs. Are they accurate? Yes, of course, because there are direct records. But even primary sources can have bias within. For example, a personal journal reflects one perspective at a time. Official documents can be selective, but the author excelled at cross-referencing these documents to build a coherent, reliable narrative. It's like piercing together a historical puzzle, so it makes sure all the edges fit. And now the meat part, evaluating the argument's strengths and weaknesses. So the author's main argument is that the Eastern Front was a place full of profound betrayal, where Allied POWs were abandoned by their Soviet allies, forcing individuals like Trimble to undertake covert rescues. A bold claim. Well, how do they defend it? One of the argument's biggest strengths is its historical grounding of Soviet policy. The authors powerfully argue that Soviet hostility toward POWs was systematic, not accidental. As they said in the preface, this was rooted in official policy. So, as this quote showed, Stalin had decreed in 1941 that there were no prisoners of war, only traitors and cowards. His declaration, coupled with a culture of savage violence on the Eastern Front, led to cruel treatment and even atrocities against former Russian soldiers who were liberated from POW camps. This provides a strong, documented basis for Soviet actions described. Another strength is its political realism. The book doesn't just show the suffering, it explains the cynical politics behind it. For instance, the author explained in the preface how the POWs became political pawns. As this quote showed, Stalin began using the POWs as leverage to force Britain and America to repatriate Russians who had been liberated from POW camps or captured fighting for the Germans. Give me mine, and I'll give you yours, seemed to be an attitude. This highlights the complex political landscape, strengthening the argument. However, the argument also has weaknesses. One is the vagueness in some evidence. While the authors provide many specific details, some descriptions of atrocities, while powerful lack precise data. For example, they write in the preface about the fate of the POWs. As this quote showed, some were fired upon indiscriminately by Russian troops. Some were robbed. Many more were marched to the rear and abandoned. Even worse, hundreds were rounded up into camps where they were treated as potential spies or anti-Soviet partisans and kept in squalid conditions. The use of non-specific quantifiers like some, many, or hundreds can be a weakness in strictly academic sense, as it aggregates incidents without always providing specific data or locations for every single event. Another weakness is the potential for filial perspective bias. The story is based on a confession made late in life by the protagonist to his son, one of the authors. And as Lee Trimble himself admits in the introduction, "My father was a regular guy, not quite what you would call ordinary, but not noticeably exceptional either. I couldn't have told you anything extraordinary about him. Had it not been for an astonishing confession when he was 86 years old, which revealed a whole period in his life that I knew nothing about." This highlights that narrative relies heavily on one man's memory from 60 years prior, which could just subject to exaggeration or selective memories. Now, let's address the potential biases in the story. The most obvious potential bias comes from Lee Trimble being Robert Trimble's son, because it's natural for a son to want to honor his father, and this could lead to tendency of hero worship. While the book is meticulously researched, the narrative is still centered on Robert Trimble's perspective. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it makes the story super personal, and it's something to be aware of. Another potential bias could be a post-Cold War lens on the Soviet actions. Because the book was published in 2015, which is long after the Cold War, but the strong condemnation of Soviet actions might resonate with existing anti-Soviet sentiments. And also, it's important to consider if the portrayal, while factually supported, emphasizes certain aspects more strongly due to later historical context. However, it is crucial to note that the author largely mitigate these potential biases through their rigorous use of multiple primary sources and Dronfield's historical expertise. They don't just tell you what Robert Trimble felt, they show you the documents and other testimonies that back up the harsh realities he faced. So to wrap this up, Beyond the Cold didn't just expand my understanding of World War II, it gave me a whole new dimension. It showed me a side of war filled with political chess game, human struggle, and forgotten heroes. It made me have to rethink of what hero means, what ally means, and what war truly entails you. If you're curious about history, or if your history textbook feels a little vanilla, then I seriously recommend this book. It will make you question everything, and it will definitely make you yell, "What? That actually happened?" Well, at least a dozen times. And thank you, everyone. That's all for my review today. If you read Beyond the Call or have any thoughts on the hidden complexities of World War II, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.